Agnimide purohitam yagyasya deva hitvijam hotam ratnadhatamam. This is the first mantra of the Vedas, and as you heard, Agni is the first word of the Vedas. This is of great significance because Agni was the first discovery of humans. It changed the course of human history. Agni is considered to be the first messenger of the gods. It takes all our messages to gods and allows us to live in harmony with nature. Agni is the first teacher. Agni purifies and transforms. This Holi at Shada Baba, all of us gathered and reflected upon the Ayurvedic and the psychological or spiritual significance of Agni. As we watch and take part in this sacred bonfire or Holika Dahan, may we all ignite the inner Agni, the Gnana Agni, the fire of knowledge that can transform our personal lives.
दिनमपि रजनी सायं प्रातः शिशिरवसन्तौ पुनरायातः कालः क्रीडति गच्छति आयुः तदपि न मुञ्चति आशावायुः भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते. Suprabhatam, good morning and welcome to today's session. This verse we just heard, so what is the poet saying, trying to tell us? That dinamapi rajani sayam pratah. The day goes, then there's evening, there's night. Shishira vasantau punarayatah. The Shishir Ritu goes and then Vasant comes and the seasons keep changing, day changes into night, the seasons keep changing and life just goes by. So we have to remind ourselves to think of what is the purpose of life, to chant the name of Govind, of the Lord, right? Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Moodamate. O foolish one, wake up and chant the name of God. So as these seasons change, there are different festivals associated with different seasons. Do you all know that? Yes. So which season is this? Yeah, this is the Falgun month. Very good. And it is the end of the Shishir Ritu. And the next Ritu which will come is the Vasanta Ritu, right? So we are towards the end of the Shishir Ritu, end of winter, and soon Vasant Ritu, that is spring season, will be here. So the festival we are celebrating is, yes, the festival of Holi. It's the festival of colors, And usually it's celebrated at least for 2 days. Sometimes in certain places it's celebrated much longer. So the first day is the day of the Holi, Falgun Purnima. You understand Purnima? Yes? Full moon. So Falgun Purnima is celebrated as Holi, or Holika Dahan is performed on that day. So a big fire is lit up. Have you all seen the big fire that's lit up on Holi? Yes? So have you ever thought, why is that fire lit up? And everyone is lighting up that fire. We do it here, people in the village do it, people in the cities do it, everyone does it all at the same time. Can you guess why? We have to always question our rituals, why we do them. If we understand why we do them, then we do it with a sense of faith, understanding, respect and awe for our culture. Yes, so Holika was Prahlad's aunt and she sat with him on her lap with the intention of burning him, but actually she got burned. So why are we doing it now? So every festival has a story behind it, and there's also the different levels of understanding. So let us understand it from the aspect of Ayurveda, of our health. So do you know which diseases happen in this season? We are going to enter spring season, yes? Very good, cold and cough. So cough is the main element which is in excess in this period. So we already learned in the last session that in the Hemant and the Shishir Ritu, the body collects all this cough, and now when the season starts becoming slightly warmer, then this cough begins to melt and it produces diseases, right? So cold, cough, allergies, all these things happen in this season. So all what we do should be to help us fight this increase in cough, right? So the holy fire is burnt because this season there is a predominance of these respiratory infections. You understand respiratory? You did the respiratory system? So it's to do with our breathing. So since all these viruses, bacteria, they enter through our breath, and there's an increase in all these pathogens. They're called pathogens, right? Those which produce disease. So we want to destroy these. So we light a fire, and everyone lights a fire. So if I light a fire and you don't light a fire, what will happen? All the bacteria and the viruses will run to your place, isn't it? But if everyone lights a fire, they have nowhere to go and they get destroyed. So heat destroys harmful bacteria and viruses. And what do we put in that fire? Very good. So we put what is called upla, or dry cow dung cakes, right? So we put this, and when this is burnt, this is also used in havan, right? And when this is burnt, it gives out fumes which destroy all these bacteria, and they're very good for health. What else do we put in the fire? Yes, we put wood, and traditionally people put neem wood in this, because neem, as you know, is very good for respiratory infections, right? So it destroys the bacteria. Yes. Yes, we put dhoop, and the main ingredient of dhoop is gugul, right? It's a raisin. Do you understand what a raisin is? No? Who understands? Yes? Oh, not raisins. It's resin. So it's this pronunciation is similar. So raisins, kishmish is R-A-I-S-I-N, right? Raisins. And this is a raisin. It's R-E-S-I-N. Should I write it down for you? That was a very good try. So raisin is basically kishmish, right? Dried what? Grapes, very good. So that's a raisin, and this is what I'm talking about is a resin. So this is the exudate of a plant. Exudate means, if supposing there's a plant, right? You might have seen that in many plants. So a sticky gum-like substance comes out of the plant bark. Have you seen? It's stuck to the bark of the tree. How many of you have seen that? Yeah, mostly everyone has seen that, right? So many trees, they give out these secretions and they're called raisins. And so the raisin of the gugul tree is what we have got here. This is gugul. Okay? and this is put in. It smells beautifully. Have you ever seen dhoop being done? There's a fragrance in the smoke that arises. And gugul is used in Ayurveda to kill bacteria and viruses. So sometimes, when you have someone's coughing and he has chicken pox or he has any respiratory infection, so the room that he's staying in will have so many bacteria or viruses. So what do? You light the dhoop and you spread the smoke, and that smoke kills the harmful bacteria and viruses. Okay, so that is why gugul is added to the fire. It's also added to the havan fire, and dhoop is also done to the deities in the temples, right? So that is the understanding. And also it has some sesame seeds, and sometimes we put jau. You know what is jau? What is it? Barley. So that is also added. So all these things burn, especially the gugul. It burns and it creates a smoke which kills bacteria and viruses. So gugul is a raisin. So, and what is a raisin? Raisin is the exudate or the secretion. Like we have secretions, our saliva comes out, tears come out, then there's sometimes something that comes out from the ears, isn't it? So, similarly, plants also secrete certain substances and they are called raisins. So, gugul is a raisin, it's derived from a plant. And so, we put that in the havan, and we put cow dung cakes. What else do we put? Yeah, we put coconut. You know why we put coconut? Coconut is like our head. Think of it like your head. You're offering your head to the fire. Why would you do that? What is there in your head? Brain. You want to give your brain to the fire? Fright? No. So, it's also the ego. You know, Ravan, how many heads did he have? 10 heads. Did he have a big ego? Yes? You know what ego means? Like I would say, I am the best. You know, understand what that means? So there's a false pride. So that's ego. So this is symbolic. We are offering that coconut, that it is like our ego we are offering, and we pray that we are blessed with good thoughts. So traditionally, what is the prasad that is given out? You know, we talked about it last time. There's something you can put in the sand or salt. Yes? Corn. Very good. Corn. Corn, or you can put jau, that's barley, or you can put even rice. Different grains, chana, like chickpeas. You put that in either in a pan which has sand or salt, and you heat it, and the hot sand or the hot salt, it conducts the heat, and you keep stirring it, and they start popping. Have you ever seen popcorn being made? Like how it pops? So when the grain pops like that, it becomes very light and easy to digest. And since this is the kapha season, so there will be a lot of kapha, so we don't want to eat. Have you ever seen people distributing laddus and barfi on Holi? No, right? So the prasad that's given out is these popped grains, right? So you have juar or popcorn or chana, roasted chana, right? Chickpeas, all these roasted grains, because they reduce kapha in the body. So it is also an indicator of what we should be eating at home. So in the winters, we had jaggery, we had sesame seeds, we had laddus, we had sweets, but now we should reduce all that, and we should have these dry grains so that the kapha doesn't build up in our bodies, right? And then when the fire is lit, what do people do around the fire? Yeah, they circumambulate, they go around the fire. Parikrama, very good. So people go around maybe say 11 times, 21 times. Yes? They sing, very good. They sing, they chant, and they go around the fire. So if you have a cold, will the heat benefit you? Will the heat be beneficial? Will it be good for you? If I have a cold, do I need heat? Yes? So that's why, because there's an excess of kapha in the body, and going around the heat also helps. When you have a cold, sometimes your mother might, heat up some hot, like a cloth, and then do hot fermentation. Does she do that? Or inhale hot steam? So this helps to liquefy the kapha. So that is why there is this tradition of not only offering your mind and your devotion, but also it has an Ayurvedic basis. So you go around the fire and that heat is good for the system. It helps to liquefy the kapha. Okay? And the prasad that you eat is not heavy food, but it is light food. It is those grains that are roasted, and by roasting the grain, it makes the grain very light and easy to digest. So the harvest has just taken place, and so people offer the newly harvested grains into the fire, and they also use neem. And often people, when they make, they already begin preparing these uplas or cow dung cakes, few days before the Holi festival. So what do? They take cow dung, and in that they also add some spices or some herbs, so that when this is burnt, it gives out those fumes which are actually medicinal. It helps to kill the bacteria and the viruses. So they can put neem leaves or dried neem powder, or they might put haldi. So here we have haldi also with us, turmeric, right? And different herbs like nagar motha, so, which are also used in agarbatti making. So these herbs, when they are burnt along with the upla, it gives out good fumes. Now, so we've done the fire and we've gone around it. We've done the puja, and what do we do the next day? Yeah, we play Holi with colors. Do you all like playing Holi with colors? Yes. So it's a time when everyone gets together, right, and has a lot of fun. It's enjoyment, it's bonding time. But should we be respectful when we are playing Holi, or for that matter any time, or should we just force ourselves on people? Is it a time of having fun, or is it a time of and sharing love, or troubling someone, or teasing someone? Fun, right? Love. So we should use colors, and these colors, spring is coming soon. So these colors, they denote the different colors of spring. All the new flowers come out, right? So we are trying to celebrate, or we are trying to welcome spring. So yes? Very good, excellent. We don't use colors with chemicals, so we should use natural colors, right? So do you know any natural colors that will be good for the skin and not harmful? Herbal colors. Can you give examples of how those herbal colors are made? Flowers, very good. So I have a flower here. It's such a pretty flower. Can you see this? Do you like the color? Yes, beautiful color. And you know that this flower, first of all, do you know the name of this flower? This flower is called palash. It's called palash in Sanskrit. What is it called? Palash. And what is it called in Gujarati? Kesuro, very good. And what is it called in Hindi? Tesu. And you know the wonderful thing about this? It flowers only once a year in this season, in the season of spring before Holi. And so, yes? Very good, yeah. So when you're applying color, you should close your eyes so that it doesn't get into the eyes. Very good. But this is a color, even if it gets into the eyes, it will not be so harmful. In fact, this has a lot of medicinal properties. It's good for the skin. So it will actually, if you apply it, you're doing your friend a favor by putting like a nice skincare cream. And then you can also put, what is this? Turmeric, very good. So have you seen people applying turmeric before their weddings? Right? They have the haldi ceremony. Why? Because it's so good for the skin. And then you look very pretty on your wedding. So you can make a face pack like this. You can do a beauty treatment for your friends. You can mix kesura, that is palash flowers. So I've soaked a few palash flowers. See, look at this beautiful color. I'll pass it around. So it's this water has become orange and it has medicinal properties. You can mix some turmeric in this, right? And put on your friends' faces. And there's another ingredient I have, which also has a beautiful color. Can you all see? Can you see? Yes? So I can just pass it around. You can pass it around. So this is masoor dal or lentils, right? It's dehusked, the covering has been removed, it's usually brown, and then because the covering has been removed, it's dehusked, so it is inside, it is orange in color, beautiful color, and you grind this into a flour, right? Just like you grind wheat and it forms atta, flour, in the same way you grind this and becomes a very smooth flour, and it's beautiful in color, and it has a soothing property for the skin. In fact, it's healing. So even small babies, newborn babies, when they're born, you don't want to apply harsh chemicals and soaps on their skin, isn't it? Because they have such tender, delicate skin. So we use this masoor dal atta to clean their bodies. So you mix it with little water and apply, and that's like a natural soap. So you can mix this atta, the flour of lentils, along with turmeric and the water in which the palash flowers have been soaked, and you can apply it. So it will be a beauty treatment. Now I have one more flower. Have you seen this growing somewhere in the campus? Yes. Which flower is this? Yeah, it's called kesari or sinduri, because I'll take out, it's got spikes on top, and these are the pods, and inside you have tiny seeds. Can you see the seeds? Yes, let me take out one seed. I'll pass it around. This is a seed. Let me just rub it on my hand. Look at this. Yeah, you can put a tika with this and you can color your friends with this. It's not harmful at all. Yeah, these are tiny thorns, but they don't prick so much. They're soft. You can pass it around. You can take one seed each and rub it on your palm. So, you know the properties of this palash flower? Anyone knows the medicinal properties? Not only is it good for the skin, it's also good for diabetes. So people soak the flowers. Yes, very good. People soak this, that's what I've done. I've soaked it in water and they bathe with this because it's so good for the skin. And you can drink it. If you have diabetes and you drink this, the blood sugar goes down. It also kills the worms in our stomach. You know, so many of us have worms, yes, in the intestine. It's good to kill those also. It's good for digestion also. So it's not at all harmful. Unlike the chemical colors that are available in the market, so even if by mistake it goes inside, no harm. Similarly with the sinduri or kesari, this beautiful color, it's used as food color because it's natural, and this also kills worms, and this is also good for the skin. So even if it goes in your mouth by mistake, you're putting color and it goes in the mouth, no problem. The worms inside your stomach will get killed, isn't it? And it can be used as food color. It also brings down fever. So when we play Holi, we understand the significance. The first day we light the fire is going to emit smoke, and all these ingredients, they are all medicinal herbs. The guggul, the cow dung cake, the neem twigs and the neem branches, they will emit smoke which will kill the bacteria and the viruses. We go around the fire, we absorb that heat which helps to liquefy the kapha in our body. The prasad we take is roasted grains which are easy to digest and they absorb all the excess kapha in our system. And then finally the next day we play with a lot of love and fun. We don't harm anyone, we respect each other, and we use ingredients that are good for us. So we use haldi, turmeric, and we use this. What is this? What flower is this? Soaked in water? Palash flowers. There are so many poems on the palash flower, you know, in Hindi, Gujarati, many languages, even in Sanskrit. Because this is the time it flowers and it looks so beautiful. The tree has very few leaves at this time and it's covered with these flowers. So imagine if you have like hundreds of these flowers on the tree, how beautiful it looks. It's a tall tree and you can see it from far because it's so tall. It's, you know, taller than most other trees. And you see this bright orange color. It looks like a flame. Doesn't it look like a flame, like the fire? So it's, in English, it's also called flame of the forest. What is it called? Flame of the forest. Imagine a forest and you go inside in this season and you have so many palash trees and tall trees and you see orange color all over. How pretty it looks. It looks as though there's a flame has been lit in the forest high above. So it's called flame of the forest. So I hope you all will celebrate Holi in this healthy way, understanding the significance, and have fun, exchange your love with your friends, and respect each other. So wish you all a very auspicious Holi.
Namo Namaha. Suprabhatam. Okay, so we're celebrating Holi, and Holi is a celebration of colors, festival of colors. You've heard that phrase before? Festival of colors. It's getting very popular around the world. Even people who are not Hindus or Indians have started celebrating Holi because it's about colors. Colors are universal. Have you learnt in your pre-primary primary colors, secondary colors, tertiary colors, and who likes to draw and paint and do art? Almost everyone, right? So, and art is all about colors, okay? Fashion is all about colors. Beauty is all about colors. If you look in nature, you'll see all kinds of colors. Don't you see that? Right? All kinds of colors are present in nature. And there's a particular element that is worshipped in Holi. You know which element? We light it? Fire. We light big bonfire and people gather around it. So today I thought, instead of just recounting or retelling the stories of Holi, which we have done in the past, right, in previous years, we have shared stories of Holi from the Puranas. Today we'll talk about Agni, fire. It is about Vishnu ultimately. Vishnu means Vyapaka. He who is all pervasive, everywhere. All pervasive means present everywhere. Vyapnoti, present everywhere. He is Vishnu. Okay, now what is a symbol of Vishnu? What is an element that is present everywhere? Of course, all 5 elements are present everywhere. By the way, can somebody tell me the names or the list of all 5 elements in order, from the subtlest to the grossest? Okay, Veda, go ahead. Dharti or Prithvi, good. Next. Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash, very good. From the grossest to the subtlest, these are the 5 elements. And today we'll specifically focus on Agni. You've seen this Holika Dahan. Both these photos are from our campus. Okay, this is Holika Dahan happening here. And do you see the moon in the sky? Can somebody tell me the phase of the moon? Yuktesh? Full moon. Somebody tell me the same term in Sanskrit. Purnima. Okay, Purnima. And which month are we in right now? Falgun. Okay. And after this, after Purnima, we'll switch over to the next month, which will be Chaitra. That's when we'll celebrate Chaitra Navratra. So this is a time for Holi. It'll be full moon if you look up in the sky, and there'll be a big fire. Now, bonfire is a term used for lighting up a fire where people gather around the fire. Often, you'll find it in camps. Okay, when you go for camp, we have camps here. Okay, but if you go for camps in India or in other countries also, especially in the US also, they light a fire. Do we do it in daytime or nighttime? Nighttime. Okay, when it's kind of cold and you need warmth and it's dark, you need light. And then people gather around it and chit chat and eat some things, eat snacks. But this is a sacred bonfire. Holi is not just a regular bonfire, it's sacred. It's a sacred bonfire. Sacred means holy. Not H-O-L-I, it's H-O-L-Y. Holy, sacred. Okay, it's divine. Because it's associated with Vishnu. It's associated with Holika Dahan, the burning of Holika. Do you remember the story of Prahlad? Holika came to destroy Prahlad, to burn Prahlad. She took Prahlad in her lap, and she thought that nothing will happen to her because she had this particular cloth. Some people say she had a boon. Whatever she had, she thought nothing will happen to her, and Prahlad will get burnt but actually what happened? Prahlad was safe, nothing happened to Prahlad because God was protecting him. Vishnu was protecting him, and Holika gets burnt in the process. So in the same way, fire actually doesn't destroy actually anything, but especially doesn't destroy that which is holy. On Holi, that which is holy doesn't get destroyed. Okay? Because that which is holy, H-O-L-Y, now you're totally confused. That which is holy, H-O-L-Y, is eternal. Right? Eternal, like timeless, infinite. Nothing happens to that which is real. But that which is unreal gets destroyed. That is why Agni is known as the purifier. It purifies you. This is a sacred bonfire because it's associated with Vishnu, meaning it is not just a regular camp bonfire, it is associated with God, with the divine presence. And we offer and surround it with divine items, religious items, spiritual items. Yes? So this is a sacred bonfire. We're learning something from it. Okay, in a camp bonfire, we're not learning much, we're just having fun. But in a sacred bonfire, in Holika Dahan, we are learning something. What are we learning? Let's learn. Okay, let's start. Okay, if there are 4 Vedas that form the foundation of Indian thought, can somebody tell me the names of the 4 Vedas? Laksh. Rig Veda. Next. Yajurveda. Samveda. Atharvaveda. 4 Vedas. Which is the first one? Rig Veda. Which is the first mantra of the Rig Veda? Have you wondered? Do you know about it? Okay, today you'll learn it. The one written on the screen. You must have heard it in pujas, in havans, in yagnas. Om, of course, the first sound of the sound of creation is Om. First mantra is Om Agni Mide Purohitam Yagnasya Deva Hitvijam. Have you heard priests chanting this? Om Agni Mide Purohitam Yagnasya Deva Hitvijam Hotaram Yatnadhatamam. So what's the first word after Om, of course? Agni. First word of the Vedas. What have I written here as a title? Agni, the first word. What is the first word that came out of human speech? Agni. Okay. First letter Agni. Agni. And what is the first letter of the alphabet? A-I-E, right? So starts with A and first word Agni. Right? The first word. And here's a photo of priest doing havan on our campus. Right? We have Homa here or havan every day, morning and evening. So this is a photo of that. Do you see fire there? And you see the pit, Yagna pit. How many layers does it have? How many levels? 3. Okay. White, red and black. So first word, that means it is very significant. Why is it the first word? Have you wondered? Should we wonder? Should we ask ourselves, why is Agni the first word? Let's find out. Well, Agni was the first discovery of humans. Have you started studying human evolution? How humans evolved? What was the first discovery? Somebody asked me a very good question the other day. Who was the first scientist? Who asked me that question? Mahi, very good question. Who was the first scientist? I remember I told you, first scientist, we don't know the name, but it must be the first human or the first group of humans who thought of, who observed nature and then wondered, can we create fire? Early humans, exactly. Hominids, early humans. This is, we're talking about thousands of years ago. Some people say even 1 million years ago. 1 million is 10 lakhs. So, long time ago, when humans were not or had just become upright, like we have an upright posture, chimpanzees don't have that, right? Other primates don't have that, humans have that. So, one of the first discoveries of humans was fire. How did they discover fire? Because fire is all around us. They must have, we don't know, because we can't talk to them. But they must have seen nature. What must have they observed in nature? What element or what natural items or occurrences around us have fire in them? Can you think? Yes. So, you talk about sunlight. Sunlight has fire. So, there's fire in the sky as sun. Very good. What else? Think. not man-made light sources, but think of others. There's at least one more source. So in the daytime, yes, sun. At night time, we have Sandhya, moon. Moon reflects the light of the sun. What else must they have observed that has its own light? Stars, yes, stars also reflect light. So, by the way, sun is also a star. It's a big star. Sun, yes. Moon, sun are covered. There is another source of light. It starts with the word light. Laksh, Pavitra, anybody else? It's the word starts with light. It's also known as Indra's Vajra. Sandhya, lightning. Okay, so they must have seen when lightning strikes. Sometimes what happens? Have you heard your parents say, "Stay indoors, don't go near electrical pole, or don't go near a tree"? Why? Because sometimes during a lightning strike, a bush will catch fire, a tree will catch fire. There are forest fires because of lightning or because of too much heat from the sun, right? So humans must have observed that, and then they must have taken two stones or two sticks together and rubbed against each other. Do you know which scientific force that is? In science, we call it a particular force. Friction. Okay. From friction arises a spark. Have you seen that? Have some of you tried that, seen that? When you strike two flint stones, any two stones together, you've seen that, Harish? Yeah? When you throw a stone on a road, what happens? You see a spark. Yeah, chingari is spark. Spark of fire. So in that spark of fire, humans must have experienced a spark of insight. Okay? That wow, if we can create fire and control fire, what can we do? This is the first discovery of humans. You see those beings around? First humans. This is from Archaeology News online magazine. It's from an actual magazine. An artist has drawn this. He's imagining, or she, whoever actually, yeah, the artist's name is also written there. Imagination of how humans must have discovered fire. Now for fire, they must have lit the fire, and then what would fire have done for them? First discovery, so very significant. It changed the course of human history. After this, humans have evolved tremendously. Okay, you remember something unique about humans, human brain? I talked about it in the last festival. Okay, Sandhya, go ahead. They can create, yes, that's the top kind of rung of education in Bloom's taxonomy. But in terms of the human brain, there is a part of the brain that humans have that is very sophisticated that other animals don't have or is not as sophisticated. Okay, somebody who hasn't answered before? Can somebody show me which part of the brain do we have that is unique? That is unique. Yes, brain is here, that's correct. That is, which brain is this? Mind is all throughout the body. This is the limbic brain, correct. And what is here? Prefrontal cortex, which is very unique in humans, at least very sophisticated in humans. Okay, so after the discovery of fire, human evolution took a different course and humans evolved tremendously because of a few factors. Let's study that. Before we study that, I also want to mention, or let me talk about how human course changed. Okay, before I do this, let me go back to this. Okay, can somebody tell me what fire gives us? I'll write it down. Then you'll understand the next slide better. Okay, should I write down? Should I write it in red because fire is orange and red? What is fire called in Sanskrit? Okay. What does fire give us? Light. Very good. What else? Very good. Warmth. What else? Heat. Yes, that's warmth. Very good. Freshness. Yeah, it does give you freshness. Like because of light and warmth, right? Very good. Cooked food. And cooked food is better to eat than uncooked food according to Ayurveda. Okay? Rishi, what? Yep, cooked food.
Warm water.
Yes, warm water. So we can include that in. Very good. That's a good one. Because who likes to bathe in cold water in winters? In winters? What else? What else does? Huh? Yes, because of cooked food. Anything else? Huh? Jatragni is the fire. Yes, cooked food. Digestion is, it helps digestion because of cooked food. It removes pollution. But you know, when the humans were living out in forests, there was no pollution. So it wasn't really helping get rid of pollution. The yagnas help remove pollution to some extent because of, you learned that, right? Google and Neem and all that. Yeah. You know, have you, he said charcoal, which is, I mean, you get charcoal when you burn something. But did you see in the photo I showed of Holika Dahan, or you look at any bonfire, whether it's sacred or not, do you only see one person there? Even in this, do you see one person near a fire? You always see a group of people. So it brings people together. Yeah. It brings, Sandhya said team, it brings people together. Community. Okay, it's community gathering. It's very good to build a community. Okay, I mean, at least these are the main advantages of, and also when you learn science more, you learn metallurgy, right? When you learn metallurgy, how they make metals go through fire for purification, you learn that that also helped humans later on when we start making tools. Yeah, you understand tools? Like first we had hand tools. What is the first tool? You take a stone. Have you, even before that, you've seen chimpanzees take a twig, a branch, and they put it inside like a termite mound. Huh? Termite, you know termites, Uday? And they take, and or even ants. For ants, they do that. There's an ant hill, and the chimpanzee will take a twig and put it inside the ant hill to get ants and eat ants. So that's the first tool. But they're not making that. They're just breaking twigs and branches, you know, or some later, like early humans started using stones. And slowly, in human history, during human evolution, we started polishing tools. We started making bow and arrows, spears, maces, trishul, trident. These were all weapons that humans started to make. And when we started using metals, whether it's for weapons or for other uses, then we started using metallurgy. So I won't write that here, but that is, I can write it, but that will come much later, okay, when you learn science, metallurgy. But definitely the first one is light, then warmth, cooked food. First, see, in darkness, there's fear, right? You go to a dark forest, like at night time, you'll be afraid. But if there's light, you'll see things, and you won't be as afraid. So this also we should say protection, right? Because once you have light, you are more aware, and once you have fire, you can also protect yourself against animals. If an animal comes to attack you, you can have a stick with fire. Will the animal approach you after that? No. So should we add that? Protection. Okay, so light, warmth, or heat, as somebody said, protection. Then humans started cooking food, and that was very good for digestion. It allowed our brains to grow. Then, when you need warm water on a cold day or cold night, it brought humans together. We became a community of people. Okay, like an ashram, like humans are social animals. So when we stay together, we are less prone to attacks from animals or anyone. In fact, animals don't like to attack us, but now we are even stronger. And metallurgy much later. Okay, so this first discovery of fire really changed human history. Now, a lot of you talked about or mentioned Jatra Agni. Let's clarify, we're talking about outer fire, right? This is for the creation, discovery of fire outside through rubbing stones or rubbing sticks. Have you seen priests when they start a havan? How do they start it? Do they start with a lighter, a matchbox? No, they rub two sticks, arni, manthan, and because of the force of friction, you get fire, and then you transport the fire onto the yagna pit. Even if you rub your hands together, you will feel warmth. That is fire element. That same fire is inside us. There is There is a story also around it. We don't have time for the story. But it is said that fire is present everywhere. That is why when you rub two things together, even your hands, you feel heat, you feel warmth. When you rub stones together, you get a spark. When you rub two twigs together, you get a spark. You can start fire from anything and everything, okay? Because fire is all pervasive. And that is why it's not only up in the sky, but it's also in us. Do you know how it dwells in us? Some of you already mentioned. Sonali? As inside our stomach as Jatra Agni. Okay, so there's fire outside as Surya and there's fire inside as Jatra Agni. The fire that digests our food. There's also fire on the stove which cooks our food. So there's sun because of the process of photosynthesis, right? Brings food on this planet. Who performs this process of photosynthesis? Plants. They make their own food. They're producers. Then that we take those vegetables, cook it on stove, again fire. Then we eat it. And what digests inside us? Fire. So it starts from fire, gets transformed to fire and ends up being digested by fire. Yes. So fire, I should do it with red. This is kind of like a fire, okay? And you have sparks. You've seen that? Sparks, you watch it when we do it, okay? When we make the holy bonfire, you watch how the sparks go up in the air. Fire doesn't destroy something, it transforms it. Like when you eat food, it gets transformed into your sapta dhatu, right? Your body is made up of the food you eat. So it has to undergo transformation. You understand transformation? Change. If the food on your plate has to become you, who does that? Who does that? Agni. Okay. It's a transformer. It transforms you. It changes you. So if you want inner change, what Agni do you need? Agni just in the stomach or also in your mind, in your awareness. Okay. There's another Agni called Gnana Agni, fire of knowledge. If fire of digestion or digestive fire changes food into your flesh and bones, what will fire of knowledge do to you? What will it change inside you? It will change your life, yes, absolutely. But what exactly will it change inside you? Your body or your mind? Your mind, yes. Your mindset will change. The fire of knowledge changes your mindset. So, Holika, or the sacred bonfire, is also the first teacher. We'll learn about that later. Before that, let me show you this image. Agni, the first messenger. Why? Because fire takes, this is also on our campus. Okay, the last day of Navratra, we were doing a Havan, and this is the image of that. You know which temple this is? Agnya Kond is, yes, and it's a Yagnashala. Agnya Kond is a direction, right? Which direction is it? Do you know the 10 directions? According to Vastu. And Agni is the Devta of one of the directions. Which direction? Opposite of that, exact opposite of that. See, north is going to be for life. South is going to be for death. When a person dies, we put him on a funeral pyre. You've heard that? You've seen that? Or photos at least? People are in Hinduism, we burn a dead body, right? Southeast, yes, Agnya Kond, southeast. Agni is the Devta of southeast. Okay, we burn the dead body and then it becomes ashes. It transforms the body into ashes. Rakh. Actually, Shiva gave Agni that boon. Do you want to hear that story? Okay, Parvati cursed Agni, Shiva blessed Agni. Does anybody know that story? No one. You know that story? You don't. Okay. So Parvati cursed Agni because when Kartikeya was about to be born, Devtas got anxious, restless. impatient. They say we want Kartikeya now to kill Tarkasur. So they took Shiva's energy, okay, it's called Vetas. They took Shiva's energy and tried to hasten, like speed up the process to give birth to Kartikeya. Things happen in their due course. Remember the story of Garuda? And Garuda's mother Vinita tried to speed up the process of the egg hatching. Right? And what happened when she broke the egg impatiently? Yes, he was the baby that came out was disabled. Aruna, Surya's charioteer, was disabled because of impatience. Same thing happened with Gandhari. She was impatient because Pandavas were born before, and so she broke her own womb or the flesh in her womb, and then Vyas, of course, made it into 100 pieces, and we have 100 Kauravas. So whenever there is impatience, okay, no good comes out of it. You have to wait for your turn. You have to wait for things to evolve at their own pace. Patience is a virtue, right? You have to be patient. That's why we say walk in a line, don't rush, don't push, don't snatch, don't grab, don't shout, don't yell, right? Why do we teach that in value education? Because it's important to cultivate patience in life. So Devatas got impatient, Agni stole the Vetas, but it was too much. The heat or the energy of Shiva was too much, so then he passed it on to Ganga, to water. And Ganga said, this is too much for me also, so she passed it on to Himalayas, at the foot of the Himalayas. And Kartikeya was born there, raised by the Kritika Nakshatra. Nakshatra means constellation, by 6 Kritikas. And so he had 6 heads, Kartikeya, okay, god of war. Parvati was very upset that Agni did this. She was upset at all the Devas. She said, all the Devas, you will never have your children, your own children. Have you seen any children of Devas? None. Okay, they are partial, incarnations here and there, but not. Indrajit. Indrajit is not a Deva. Indra. Who was Indra's son? Partial, but on human planet, right? On this planet, right? So partial, like he's like an ansh. He has a spark of Indra. He's not Indra's son. That way, he's a spark of Indra. So that way, he's a son. Like Vayuputra is Hanuman. You think of something like that? Or like Agni, Yagnaseni is Draupadi. So they're all partial. Okay, they have, but they still have human parents, right? Arjun, who was Arjun's father? Pandu, right? So, okay. So she cursed everyone, all the devas, but she had a special curse for Agni, because Agni started this. So she said, nobody will approach you. If anybody approaches you, they will be burnt. And so they will be afraid of you. So nobody will come near you. You will be lonely. You will be alone. And whenever you burn something, you will be surrounded by black smoke. You will always have this stain on you because of your karma. So Agni was very sad, and he understood his mistake. He performed prayashchit, repentance for his mistake, that I committed a mistake, I will not repeat again. So then Shiva blesses him that even though you have been cursed that nobody will come near you and things will burn in your presence, you will never get burnt. Nothing will happen to you. You will stay pure. So no matter what you add to Agni, does anything happen to Agni? And Shiva said you will always be known as a purifier. So you see, Agni purifies. When you have Agni, all the germs, you heard that, right, in the previous session, all the germs get destroyed. All the bacteria get destroyed. Viruses get destroyed. That's why heat, even in labs, we use heat to sterilize our material. Because you don't want to work with apparatus that has bacteria on it. Okay, we wear gloves in a lab. We also sterilize all our material. Have you seen like people put it under a fire? Sterilize means like they take a pipette or something, whatever they have to use in a lab, and they put it under a flame. They put it on a flame for 5 seconds so that the germs are killed. Then they use it for the experiment. Okay, because you don't want bacteria in your experiment. Otherwise, you do an experiment and they'll just be full of bacteria. Okay, so Agni is a purifier. Agni, you see it in the sky as Surya. You see it in the atmosphere as lightning. You see it on earth as fire, or as on the cooking stove as fire. So Agni is present in all three worlds, on earth, in the atmosphere and in the sky. Yes? And therefore, because it is present everywhere, it is known as the first messenger, the divine messenger, the messenger of the gods. So when we add ahuti in a yagna, the smoke is like a postcard. Okay? You know, when you have to write to somebody, you write it on a card and you send it, you post it, you mail it. Now we have email or text message. So that you're sending messages. But what was the first text message? It was through Agni. Okay, you want to talk to the gods that please give us rain. What do? Can you text God in the tak 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 tak? Please give me rain. No, you can't do that. What do you have to do? You have to do a havan, a yagna, so that the smoke will carry your message. You want a child? You do putreshti yagna. You've heard Dasharatha doing that yagna? So that after that he gets Ram, Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughna to carry the message to the gods that please give us children. Okay? You want to conquer the kingdom? You do Ashwamedh yagna. For any message you want to give to the gods, you want something or you want to communicate a message, you have to do a yagna. You want Shanti on this planet? Peace on this planet? You have to do a yagna. And you communicate to the gods, please bestow peace on this planet. You cannot message God, you cannot email God or gods, okay, devas. You have to use Agni as your messenger. In fact, in Greece, thousands of years ago, they also had this idea initially. Do you know where you still find this? They use candles, right? And on cakes, you see sometimes there are candles. That's not our tradition. That's a Western tradition. We don't blow off a candle. We light a lamp. But in Greece also, initially they thought of fire as a messenger. So you light and the smoke then carries they used to blow off so that the smoke would carry the message to the gods. So the first messenger was Hanuman. Who else? Email, Google. Agni. Okay, Hanuman, I'm joking, Hanuman was a Dut much later. First messenger is Agni. Still, first and foremost. Okay. Best, most important. The first teacher. Who is the first teacher? Holika. Agni. Agni is the first teacher. Okay, why? What does Agni teach you? It teaches you, let's write down what Agni teaches us. Somebody tell me, from whatever I've shared so far, Agni transforms you. So what does it teach you? Yes, growth, meaning transformation. What does Agni teach you? Transformation. Transformation, what does it teach you? What is transformation? Change. Okay? Agni causes a substance to change from one form to another. So it teaches transformation. Say that word again. Transformation, change from one to another. So if the outer Agni changes food into your flesh and bones, what will the inner Agni do? What will the Agni of knowledge, Gnana Agni, what will that do? It will change your mindset from what to what? How will it change your mindset? From fixed to growth, very good, it can do that, yes. It can change your mindset from being a fixed mindset to having a growth mindset. Agni can, now what is this fire of knowledge? How will inner Agni, Gnana Agni cause transformation? Before you act, before you do anything, or before you speak, what do you have to do? Do you have to be impulsive, like be governed by your limbic brain, just do whatever you want to do at any time, in any place? What must you do first? Think. You must pause. Okay, stop. Think meaning reflect. If I do this, what will be the consequence of this? And when you think like that, your Gnana Agni increases. The more Gnana Agni you have, the more transformation you will experience within yourself. Okay, there is Agni inside your mind as Krodha Agni. Do you know what Krodha is? Anger. Agni can burn you. Agni can also cook your food. Right? If you go too near the Agni, or you handle Agni on your hand, what will happen? You will burn your hand. If you touch Agni, put your hand in Agni, what will happen? You'll burn it. Even a 2-year-old will know that. But you use Agni to cook your food, you will get delicious, healthy, nutritious food. So Agni can be destructive, it can also be constructive. Destructive means it can destroy you. Which Agni can destroy you? Krodhagni, fire of anger, can destroy you from inside. Have you experienced anger? And when you experience anger, do you feel heat inside? Your blood heats up. And then when you say something or do something, does any good come out of it? So it's like electricity. You put your hand in a socket, okay, in an electrical socket, you can catch a shock, an electric shock, right? And that can hurt you, that can harm you, that can burn you. But electricity, when it flows through the right channels, it can give you light through tube light, it can give you wind through the fan, it can give you heat through the microwave, it can give you cold air through the air conditioner. It can be used constructively and creatively. Yes or no? Yes. But if handled improperly, without understanding, it can destroy you. So Agni teaches you responsibility. Okay? Transformation, responsibility. Whatever you have, you must use it wisely. Right? What other fire do you have inside? Think about it. Yes, fire of curiosity is like fire of knowledge. That is very good. Also desire. I want this, I want that. Constantly. This is Kam Agni. This is desire. Desire can destroy you. But if you use it properly, if you desire knowledge, if you desire good company, if you desire growth, it can transform you. Yes? So Agni teaches you transformation, teaches you responsibility. Agni is the first teacher. So when you have darshan of Agni on Holi, rather than it just being a bonfire to have fun, you can learn something from Agni. Agni is a purifier. It purifies everything. Okay? Agni teaches you clarity because in light, when you see things clearly, you can be free of fear. It teaches you clarity. Okay? There is no confusion. Confusion happens when you can't see things properly. When you're in a dark forest, a dark room, you're confused. And there is fear. When you see things in light, all confusion is removed and you see life as it is. Where is Vishnu? Whose image is that? Prahlad. Prahlad, that's Prahlad in fire, nothing happens to him. There's another story in Ramayana where somebody enters fire, nothing happens to her. Sonali? Ramayana. Sita, yeah. Nothing happens to Sita, okay? That's called Agni Pariksha. So fire doesn't kill you, doesn't destroy that which is positive. It destroys that which is negative. In fact, it converts the negative into positive. It converts anger into creativity. It converts desire into creativity. Got it? It transforms. What does it do? Transforms. It's a transformer. It purifies you inside. Okay, tapasya. Have you heard that word tapasya? Tapas means heat. When you perform tapasya, meaning hard work, smart work, constantly, without a break, for a long time, with faith, it transforms you. This is the purpose of education. In fact, it is said the first classroom was around fire because students gathered around fire. It must have been cold, dark, okay, dangerous. So you need fire for light, for warmth, for protection. So everybody gathered around fire and had their first class. And we're still talking about Agni. It is said that Agni changed the course of human history. Humans have never been the same after the discovery of Agni. And that is for the outer fire or inner fire? Outer fire. Imagine if you ignite inner fire, will you ever be the same again? If outer fire can change the course of human history, human evolution, what can inner fire do? It can change your personal life. It can change the course of your personal destiny. It can change you, it can transform you completely. Which fire can transform you? The fire of knowledge. Gnanagni. Say that word. Gnanagni. One is Jatragni, which is in the stomach, and another is Gnanagni, which is in the mind. Understood? Where is this Vishnu? See, this first image is image of Prahlad. The second image, I created that image using AI. Okay, I told AI that I want a student like you meditating on the inner fire, igniting inner fire of knowledge. So even AI understands the fire is in the heart. Okay, you ignite that fire. This is true Holika Dahan. This is real Holika Dahan. Holika represents all the impurities within you. Mental impurities like what? Like anger, jealousy, greed. What else? Laziness, right? Pride. You know, if you have jealousy, if you are jealous of someone, is that a positive emotion or negative emotion? And if you add jealousy into the fire of knowledge, what can it get transformed into? Instead of being jealous, what should you do? Try to improve yourself. Okay, this is called transformation. You take the emotion of jealousy, put it in the fire of knowledge, meaning rather than being jealous of somebody who is progressing, you try to improve yourself. Make that person your inspiration. That I'll get inspiration from that person and I will learn something. So this is called transformation. You desire something that somebody has, or you want something more and more and more. Instead of wanting things, you transform it into seeking knowledge. Got it? This is called transformation. This is what fire of knowledge can do inside you. So here's a small boy like you, okay, small boy, small girl. You can also ignite this fire inside you. How? Before you perform any action, pause. Okay? Reflect. And then see how you want to go about doing it or saying something. If you keep on doing it impulsively without your prefrontal cortex managing or governing anything, your limbic brain will take control and your life will be a mess. Okay, but if you want your life purified of all impure elements, if you want your life transformed, then you have to ignite the inner Agni. Can we try that for a minute? First, you'll have to sit up straight. Do you think when you perform a yagna, you can be distracted? Do you think when you have to send a message to the gods that you can just look here and there? When you're giving ahuti to a havan or yagna, can you just look here and there and just keep on throwing things? Where do you have to focus? On the fire. Only on the fire. You cannot see or think about anything else. In the same way, if you want inner transformation, you have to focus on your inner fire of knowledge. What will you focus on inside? Where is the fire? Where can the fire be lit? In the heart. Okay? Where is the heart? In the center of your body. That's your existence. That's your sense of being. If you sit calmly, if you sit peacefully, sit still and just turn your eyes or turn your gaze within, close your eyes and turn your gaze within. You can make this Gnan Mudra with your hands, okay? Your finger and your first finger and your thumb join together and just breathe. Watch the breath descend into the center of your chest. Experience the pause, the stillness, the gap, the space, the emptiness, the stillness, where there is no thought, no word, no action. Pure, purifying, bright light, radiant. Follow the breath to where it ends in the heart and watch that pause, that stillness. Hastayoho. Right. So if you can find this kind of stillness inside you before you do anything or speak anything, then your life will be transformed with the help of the fire of knowledge. Okay? This is the real purpose of education. Education is not just teaching you maths and English and science, it's also teaching you. Real purpose of education is to ignite the fire of knowledge in you and transform your life inside out. Make sense?